Hello everyone, welcome back to Avani Balance Me Yoga. Today's video is a special video. I am going to be guiding you all through how you can do a self massage. Now, the only thing is, in order for you to really be able to enjoy this video as I intend for you to, you're gonna need access to 2 yoga blocks. It is extremely important that you have 2 yoga blocks. Honestly, I think they're a really great investment, even if you don't practice yoga regularly. And you can find them on Amazon. I'll actually put the link in the description of this video. I believe I was able to get both of these for $16.99. It might have been a special on Amazon, and these are Gaia yoga blocks. Yep, these are the very first yoga blocks I've ever purchased. Also, still using those. I kind of need to get some more, but that's what I could afford at the time, so I still have them. They work amazingly. And as I've taken like yoga classes over the years and things like that, and I have been single for a very, very, very long time, one of the things I used to really enjoy about being in a relationship is like the massages and the physical touch and all that good stuff. And I've missed that physical touch. Right now, times are a little funnier than they have been in the past, so I'm not able to afford, massages every other week, which most massage therapists recommend. And I even think chiropractors recommend that too, because it's important to keep your lymphatic system drained and getting that movement into your body. So I'm going to guide you through a practice that you can do on your own that will offer you the perfect amount of pressure and a little discomfort, but it helps when it comes to massaging out any knots and kinks that you may have within your body. We're going to start from the head and go all the way down with things that you can do using your yoga blocks. And if you do have access to a tennis ball, I've never done this. My mom has done it, but it turns out my mom was right about that. I just wasn't aware of it at the time. You can use a tennis ball to massage out any kinks you have in your upper shoulder area and also in your feet. But if you don't have access to a tennis ball, you can still enjoy most of this practice. I definitely want to make that very clear. So we are going to get started very soon, and I don't intend for this video to be any longer than 30 minutes, but it's going to be extremely relaxing. And I'm going to also share some great tips for people who are in the gym a lot, because I am someone who does incorporate a lot of weightlifting in my weekly fitness regimen. So you're going to be able to see how you can use those yoga blocks to massage out any tightness in your thighs and even in your calf muscles too. So stay tuned, guys. Enjoy this video and meet me on your mat with 2 yoga blocks. I'm gonna go and grab this tennis ball and I'll be back soon. You can bring a bottle of water. You can keep your socks on. We're not doing yoga at all in this video. It's all about relaxation, because self-care is so important and it goes beyond just the physical and what you choose to eat. It also is about how you love yourself, and part of that is massaging yourself and making sure that you're able to release the stress or tension that you may feel in your body. So I will see you in a minute, and this video is not being edited. Honestly, I could have just did YouTube live if I wanted to, but it won't be able to be edited. and I won't be able to edit any videos for a couple weeks. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and I'll be back in 30 seconds. I'm so happy my mom left these behind because I still haven't used them. Part of the reason because I do use the yoga blocks, like before I either teach a yoga class or before I actually take a yoga class, I get there early and I'm able to use them to massage out any like tension within my body. And it does the trick pretty good for me, but this also works wonders too. So I'm gonna incorporate this in the video. I'm trying to see how, oh my gosh, already 6 minutes in. All right, I'm gonna see how quickly I can get you guys through this practice. But when you are ready, go ahead and lower down onto your back. And because we're gonna start with the neck, go ahead and grab your yoga block. And you can kickstand it on the shorter ends. You're gonna kind of, see if I can show you better. You're gonna just kickstand it where the nape of your neck, pretty much your hairline, will be in touching the shorter width of the yoga block. And once you're here, you can remain holding on to both sides, but I want you to just kind of shift your head from side to side. You can hold it in place if it moves, but just look from side to side, and you can allow your head to be heavy, or you can even create extra tension by pressing into the yoga block as you do this. I do want to make sure that after you do this practice, it's important to stay hydrated as you're releasing tension and you feel fluid draining from any part of your body that is able to move through your body as it's supposed to. Just like you would a regular massage when they say hydrate, you definitely want to hydrate after this. So I definitely recommend 2 full bottles of water, or which is equivalent to about 4 cups, within an hour after doing this, just to help in releasing any toxins within the body. And from here, you can adjust your yoga block and make the sharper edge of any corner lower. That way you can just hit another target on your neck. I started higher, but once I get to that spot, once I don't feel any more tension or anything, I just slightly lower the block down a little further. And continue shifting your head from left to right, right to left. And then you can take it even further. I'm going to be going through this video a little quicker than I would if I were intentionally doing a full massage, just because it's for educational purposes, not really for the entire satisfaction of what I might need. I just want to make sure you're fully aware of how you can use this block to create some comfort in your life. So that's the first thing. Super, super important. When you're done with that, you can remove your yoga block onto the side, and you're gonna bring that tennis ball right behind your left shoulder. And this is the part where you have all of the control. I literally have this yoga block I'm not a yoga block, sorry, this tennis ball in my upper shoulder, kind of like right under this region, because that gets really tight and can get tense, especially if you lift weights. And at this point, I'm just gonna move around a little, just to like get any tension that might be in my back out. And if this isn't enough, it may be easier for you to use a wall standing up. But if you want even more tension, like a deep tissue, you can lift your hips off the ground. I'm gonna like move my, and then you can apply all of your pressure onto that tennis ball, but be very careful because you don't want to cause too much pain that causes you to cry or anything. That would be terrible. And of course, what you do on the left side, you definitely want to make sure you do on the right. So I really felt like I got a lot of tension out of that part of my shoulder. And I'm just going to bring it to the opposite side. You can just slowly move around. Even lift your hips up. And the back of the shoulder has a lot going on. I know in the past that if this is too much or you don't have access to a tennis ball, you've seen me do this in some of my videos where I would have you just bring your left hand right behind the lower part of your back. You will open up that left knee out a little bit more than usual. And then you would kind of like lock your elbow into place where your hand is still behind your lower back. And then you can easily massage the back of your shoulder, the upper back of your left shoulder. This is if you don't have access to a tennis ball. And then you can even bring your hand through to massage out any parts that you couldn't get from over top. And of course, what you do on one side, you must do on the other. So this is what I recommend, even if you do have access to a tennis ball, because a tennis ball can cause a lot of tension and a lot of pressure. And using the wall is nice, but if you've never used it, you might want to start with your fingers first, doing something as simple as this, before you add anything super excruciating or crazy. You know, some people are used to deep tissue massages. If you're used to that, you may actually enjoy putting your full body on a tennis ball and moving your upper back around just to get any tightness you may feel in your shoulders. All right, from this, I have done that. From that, you're going to grab your yoga block, because remember I told you, you're definitely gonna need this. And you're gonna turn it on its second highest level to prepare to lower down onto your back. Now, I'm gonna bring it up a little higher because we're gonna start with the upper back before we get into the lower back. So slide down just a bit because we're gonna adjust a few times. Once you get there and you find that sweet spot, you're going to, I can remove my pants from under, you're gonna apply all of your weight onto it and you're gonna rock back and forth. Now this is really good for massaging out your spine. And honestly, I used to get tension not just on the spine, but on the outer edges of the spine. And so I would adjust myself so that I can feel this lower edge even more. So I would kind of like come to the center. See, I eventually brought it up to the point where it's right at the top of my shoulder blades. And you can do a lot here. If your shoulder blades are tight or you have tension in your shoulder blades towards the middle of your spine, you can lower your hands down and you could just kind of just raise up. All I'm doing is rotating my shoulder blades inward, which is causing me to lift up just a little bit. And you can do this to massage the top parts of your shoulder blades. Which is also, you can just kind of like roll your shoulders down your back with the yoga block right at the top. And then once you're done with that, you can slowly bring that yoga block further down, just a little. And then you're gonna bring your weight completely off the ground. You can drop your head back. And then you can slowly even bring your core in and tuck your tailbone in as you come onto your toes to apply even more pressure on that bottom edge when it comes to massaging your back. And I like to rock from side to side sometimes. I know some people are probably like, how are you always so peaceful and calm? I give myself these little baby massages often, y'all, often. Pain is not supposed to be in the body. If you ever feel any uneasiness, tightness, or tension, it could be because of muscle growth and healing. But it could also be that there's like toxin buildup and you just need to kind of release that fluid from that part of your body. So as you lower that yoga block lower down your spine, you should be at about mid-back. You're gonna just do the same thing. Sometimes I do this, I rock from side to side. Or back and forth. I lower back down and I adjust the yoga block accordingly. Now once it gets towards the lower part of the back, this is where it feels the absolute best. You can put your arms on the ground, you can squeeze your core in and tuck your tailbone in as you apply even more pressure on the lower back, because it just feels so good. And if you want, you could even still rest your head back. And you can rock from side to side. And then I'm gonna lift back up and you just do the same thing. You know where you feel discomfort in your body. So I would advise you to focus on easing that tension wherever it may be. Stay, if you know where that is, stay at that part of your body much longer. This is just an educational video, so you don't have to do everything I'm doing. Honestly, you could look at it for reference and then do your own thing. It's just having the education to know that it's possible. I'm going to give you a little advice too. Sometimes, depending on the intensity, I turn it on its highest level. I bring it to about mid-back, and then I lift off, and then I slowly lower down. This helps with your arch too. This helps with your back bend arch in your back. I'll like lift all the way off, and then lower my hips back down as close to the block as I can, because it applies a different amount of pressure to the spine. But for the rest of the video, I'm going to keep it pretty low. And then you may just want to stay there for a moment. Completely up to you. But I'm just going to keep going on with the video. You're eventually going to get extremely low, almost to your tailbone. Not at your tailbone, but right above it. And you might feel even more tension there. So you're going to start to massage your body in a circle. I say in a circle because it's really going to relieve any uneasiness and tension in your lower back. You can do side to side. You can do back and forth. but the circle is really nice too. And whatever you do counterclockwise, I recommend you do counterclockwise also, just for that balance. Until you eventually make it to your tailbone, or like a little bit closer to your tailbone, then you can hold the block there and you can move your body up and down. Holding it in place as best you can. But that's how I massage out the back. Sometimes you may want to turn it the opposite way when it comes to your shoulder blades. If that's an area you need to work on, you may want to just cactus your arms, and then you can kind of like sway from side to side, creating some small movement. Honestly, you can do a lot of good when it comes to your back and yoga blocks. Okay, so moving on, we've done the back. We've already covered, oh yes, for all those girlies who love to be in the gym doing squats and lunges and deadlifts, all the things, right? All the things, RDLs, glute focused workouts. This is what I do. Because your glutes can get tight, especially if you weight train often, I'll bring my hands behind me. You can have them pointed, actually point your fingers towards your glutes. I bring my feet off of the mat and I'll easily just rock from side to side. It not only relieves any tension that might be in the hip area, because I'll go as far as to where I feel my hips, but also the glutes, and it'll cover every part of your glute too, because you can roll around in a circle, but I typically just go from side to side, and it eventually relieves any tension or tightness that I feel in my glutes or hips. Oh my goodness. Okay, so before I get to the thighs, I almost forgot. I'm definitely going to come back to the hands, and I'm probably going to do the hands and feet around the same time. But I'm going to come back to the front of the shoulders because we are focused on the back part, especially because we're going to be on our bellies for the next massage demonstration. Let's see. Oh, all right, y'all. So this video might be a little longer than I wanted it to be. I was shooting for 30 minutes. But it's starting to look like it might be 45 minutes, but I want to make sure you guys have a full video. You can fast forward, pause, watch it for reference, come back to it. Doesn't matter, but I just want you to have like the full body massage guide for how you can ease tension and even drain the lymphatic system with certain massages that I'm showing you using yoga blocks and the tennis ball. You're gonna need both of your yoga blocks here, and you're going to put your yoga blocks on the highest level. I'm gonna move this tennis ball out the way so that you can clearly see me. And then you're gonna slowly lower down onto your shoulders. So you wanna make sure that the yoga block is super high and on your shoulders, and then you can slowly ease, bringing your hands behind your back. You can create a bind if you want to, and then you can just slowly just ease here, allowing the pressure from your head and your arms to just ease as you just allow the blocks to do what they do. Now, if you want to create some movement here, you can rock from side to side. Be careful if you do decide to go that route. But this is a really good one. And you can even control how much pressure is applied. If you just bring your knees onto the ground and raise your hips up, you can like kind of control if you apply more pressure, less pressure, and you can even isolate it. If you want to isolate the amount of pressure and focus on one shoulder, you can go ahead and turn the yoga block onto its second highest level. And then you can come onto the side kind of. And you can bring the top part of your shoulder onto the block and create movement here by opening up and lowering back down. And of course you can do the same on the other side, but I'm gonna skip it because this video is already taking up a little more time than I anticipated. I'm gonna definitely jump straight into thighs. So you wanna bring both of your blocks side by side on the lowest level. And you can of course adjust the level based off of your own wants, but you're gonna come directly to the top, very, very top part of your thighs. Now, if you have been working out, you are gonna love this part of the video. You are gonna love this part of the video because it's great. You'll know once you do it. But you're gonna just rock from side to side here. And I will say this, if you want even more pressure applied or more of a massage, bring your feet up, flex your feet, and you can windshield wiper your feet from side to side for even more intense stretch or massage. But for me, going from side to side is just more than enough right now for this video. Once you do the very top part of your thigh, you're gonna bring your blocks down a little bit more, closer towards the mid of the thigh. And you're gonna do the same thing. You could do the same thing with your feet. I'm not gonna be able to do too much here for reasons that if you know me, yeah, I'm gonna have to probably do this later. But just to keep the video going, you're gonna bring those blocks even further down, right above your knee, right above your kneecap. You should still be able to bend, and you're gonna go from side to side again with your thighs. From here, we're gonna turn around to work on our calves. And you can easily, now this might be a little intense, so if you have a small blanket, if you have a small blanket and you don't want to use yoga blocks, that's perfectly fine. You would take the small blanket or the yoga blocks right behind your thighs, right behind the low part of your thighs, but right on top of your calves, and you would just sit on them. just like this. And you can sway from side to side just to massage out any kinks or tightness. But be very careful here because you don't want to cause too much pain. If you've never done this before, I do recommend you using a rolled up blanket because you can control how big the blanket burrito is. Of course, the bigger the burrito, the more tension you'll feel. But the yoga blocks are perfect if you are used to doing some stretches and some massages and you want a more deeper sensation or feeling. Use the yoga blocks on the lowest level. And you can adjust them. You can slide them a little further back and do the same thing just to get the full calf. And just sway your hips from side to side. From here, you can release your yoga blocks. And now I'm coming back up. I'm gonna come back to the top of the head just to like show you what I do. I know a lot of you know like the temple area. So I'll massage my temples, especially if I feel tightness in my head. But I'm also gonna tell you another trick that helps relieve tension and tightness. So I'll massage my temples until they feel good or like I don't feel any tension or tightness. But then if you want to take it a step further, your third eye holds a lot of tension. And so you can take 1 or 2 fingers and just tap in between your brow, which is also known as the third eye area. And this helps relieve any tension in your forehead and in your head. And you may even feel it draining as you do this. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big like face tapper. And I know this is good for the lymphatic system, but I'm somebody who like, if I feel a lot of tightness in my brow line, forehead, third eye, I'll just start tapping my face to relieve any uncomfortable tension. So I'll do cheekbones, jawline, around the top forehead, which I know is good for the lymphatic drainage. And then I'll come behind the ears and kind of massage the lymph nodes. And I do it so often, I'm not even aware of it sometimes. But you can just do that. And then I'll even come to the back of my neck. And I might just squeeze the back of my neck like this, because it just feels so relaxing. It almost makes you want to fall asleep. It almost makes you want to fall asleep. Like if I have a hard time going to sleep, I'll just grab my hands together and I'll just lay my head back and squeeze the base of my neck a couple of times, and it'll immediately, I don't know what it does, I think it induces a great deep sense of calm, almost like pressing the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth. And then from there, if you still feel tightness in your shoulders, I'll come to the tops of my shoulders and press down and massage that part. You can do both at the same time, or you can do one before doing the other. But I want you to be mindful. The feet and the hands are connected to your organs. Every part of your body matters. So if you've ever done like weight training and your hands get tight or something like that has happened to me, or you feel striking pain in your feet, I'll stop and I'll get my knuckle and I'll immediately just like give myself a hand massage for like 2 minutes. I literally will stop my workout and do like a 2-minute hand massage. And I'll most likely massage this part, the part of my flesh that's connected to my thumb. And if I feel tightness in my fingers, I'll squeeze like the fleshy part of my fingers, like at the base, give it a squeeze and just massage out any other part of my hand that might feel tension. And of course you do both of the hands. And then when it comes to the feet, you can use the tennis ball. I'm sure you have seen people use the tennis ball and do stuff like this. This is really, really good for relieving any tightness or uncomfortability in your foot. But I find that the hands are just as useful. So if you don't have access to a tennis ball, I would just recommend that you flex your foot. And if you have a problem flexing your foot, you can just hold your toes back as you use your other hands or other knuckles and just kind of like massage your feet, massage the spine of your foot, which is just the length in the middle where your bridge area is located. And you can even take your knuckle to the base of where your toes are located and massage in there, and massage the ankle area. Honestly, you deserve to give yourself anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes out of your day to direct your attention and focus to any part of your body that feels uneasy. So I personally do it even when I'm not very like aware, because I don't know, it seems like it's almost like a cry for help. Like, and it did get to a point where I was really in pain and I was just like, oh my God, this is insane. I have to do something. And it started with me using the yoga block on the wall. But then I eventually learned how you can take that self-massage to your yoga mat, and I'm so happy that I was able to share it with you guys today. Self-care and self-love is so important, and you must make time for yourself. In order for you to show up as your best, you have to be at ease, at peace, and just comfortable in how you feel each and every day. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section down below which part of this video was your favorite. And until next time, everyone, be well and definitely hydrate. Drink 4 cups of water, 3 to 4 cups of water within the next hour to hour and a half. All right, everyone, be well. See you.